Unreal Engine 5 has a lot of features, so in this video, I'm going to be ranking all of the major features from S tier to D tier. A few of these might be controversial, so let's get into it. Also, if you're brand new to Unreal Engine, I recommend you check out my free Unreal Engine beginner course. I'm an authorized Unreal Engine instructor and it will teach you the fundamentals of the engine so you're not completely lost. Okay, there is no D tier for this list, so we're going to start from C tier. Starting off in C tier, we have the Enhanced Input System. This was first introduced in Unreal Engine version 5.1 and it's a more flexible system compared to the old one. This system was used to replace the old system of setting up inputs in Unreal Engine, although a lot of people found the transition kind of frustrating as the old system was more simple to set up and honestly it didn't necessarily need to be removed. But the Enhanced Input System has a lot more features and flexibility. You can make it so you can hold keys to perform certain actions, or you can make it so the player has to tap keys quickly to perform certain actions. It's a lot more flexible, although because of that, it's a bit harder to set up compared to the old system. Because there's a bit of a learning curve to it, and it's not really as nice as the old system, I'm putting this system in C tier. Next, we're moving up to B tier. Starting off in B tier, we have behavior trees. Behavior trees are how you build AI in Unreal Engine. Enemy logic, combat decisions, that type of thing. They use a visual tree structure which sounds approachable, but they come with a lot of other concepts you need to understand first, like blackboards for storing AI data and creating tasks to define what the AI actually does. Once it clicks, it's a solid system, but I do think there's a bit of a learning curve. I do know there's also this state tree system, although because I don't have much experience using it, I'm not going to include it in this tier list. Next up, we have chaos physics. Chaos handles physics simulations, destructions, and things like that. The destruction system is the standout part. You can shatter geometry in real time, and it looks pretty good. Getting it to behave exactly how you want takes some tweaking, and setting up a destructible mesh has a bit of a process to it, but the results are impressive, and it's one of the more fun systems to experiment with once you've got the basics down. Next up in B tier, we have Niagara. Niagara is the visual effects and particle system for Unreal Engine. Fire, smoke, sparks, complex simulations, this is how you do all of it. It replaced the older Cascade system and is significantly more powerful. Although the reason it's in B tier is again because of the learning curve. It can be quite complex to learn Niagara. The node graph can get complicated quickly and the documentation for it isn't always the best for beginners. There are some good tutorials on it, although normally if I do find myself needing a particle effect, I'd probably get an asset. Next up, we have the Control Rig. Control Rig is Unreal Engine's in-engine rigging and animation toolset. You can build rigs, drive animations procedurally, all without leaving the engine. If you don't have a strong rigging background already, the learning curve is kind of steep. It's not something you just pick up quickly. For people who do have rigging experience, it is a genuinely powerful tool. That being said, in the latest versions of Unreal Engine, if you do have a humanoid character, they have made tools to make it so you can automatically generate a control rig for that character, which is super helpful. So you don't need to necessarily understand rigging and animation that much, although if you do come from those backgrounds, it will be easier to understand. Next up in B tier, we have Sequencer. This is how you create cinematics and cutscenes inside Unreal Engine. And with Sequencer, the learning curve is not too bad. You can pick it up pretty quickly and get to work creating some nice looking cinematic. The reason I think it's in B tier is I think there are just some better tools and features in Unreal Engine, although I do think the Sequencer is pretty solid. Next up, we have level streaming. This is how you manage what's loaded in your world at any given time. Everyone knows Unreal Engine can be slightly unoptimized, although this is the tool that I used to optimize my first game when I was making it, Bobo's Fun Zone. The idea is you split up your game into multiple levels and load or unload them at runtime. So a large map doesn't have to entirely be in memory at once. You only load what the player is near. It's also useful for things like loading a new area when a player walks through a door or swapping out of sections of the world for different game states. There is world partition, although that is more for open world games. I have used it a bit, although I'm not going to put it on this tier list again, kind of for a similar reason, as in I like to use it a bit more. But world partition works in a very similar way. It automatically handles loading things in or out of levels. Now we're in A tier. Next up, we have one of the most powerful and helpful features, IK retargeting and animation retargeting. This one's really useful once you're working with characters. Retargeting lets you take animations built for one skeleton and apply them to a different one. So if you have a character with different proportions to the one the animation was made for, the retargeter adapts it so it actually looks right. Feet stay on the ground, arms reach where they should, that kind of thing. Without this, you'd either be stuck using animations made specifically for your skeleton or dealing with characters that look broken. And in the most recent versions of Unreal Engine, you can retarget with just one click of a button. You may need to slightly tweak some of the animations, although this is an amazing tool and saves a lot of time. Especially if you consider the fact that you can get loads of animations from websites like Mixamo, and Unreal Engine on Fab, they have loads of free animations, so you can get these animations and then retarget them to your character pretty quickly. Next up in A tier, we have Modeling Mode. Modeling Mode is built into the engine and it lets you create and edit meshes directly in Unreal Engine without having to go back to an external tool. You can do basic modeling, edit geometry, Boolean operations, and this one's particularly handy. You can change the pivot point of a mesh. If you've ever imported something and the pivot is in a weird spot, you know how annoying that is to deal with. Being able to fix that and make quick geometry edits without opening Blender every time saves a lot of back and forth. It's not going to replace a dedicated 3D app for complex work, but for quick fixes and simple shapes, it's genuinely useful and something you should look into. And then last up in A tier, we have PCG. It's a node-based system for generating and scattering environment content procedurally. Trees, rocks, props, building layouts, whatever you need. For open world and large environment work, it's a huge deal. There's a learning curve to the graph, but the mental model isn't that complex once it clicks. Now we're ready for S tier, the best features that Unreal Engine 5 has. First up, we have their Blueprint visual scripting system. This is one of the best things about the engine. Instead of writing C++ code, you connect nodes together in a graph to make things happen. Players take damage, doors open, enemies spawns, whatever you need. You can code entire games just on blueprints alone. And it's not even a dumbed down version of programming. It has variables, functions, loops, casting, interfaces, the full set of concepts. Once you understand blueprints, you'll also find learning C++ is a bit easier if you ever wanted to do that, because some of the logic transfers. So this is an absolute S tier feature of Unreal Engine. The next S tier feature of Unreal Engine is MetaHuman. MetaHumans is Epic's tool for creating realistic digital humans. You can design a face, get a fully rigged character, and even have them come with facial animations, all for completely free. That's absolutely insane. The quality you get for the effort involved is remarkable. It's honestly amazing that we get this for free. The next S tier feature we have is Nanite. It lets you import extremely high poly meshes, film quality geometry, and the engine handles all the level of detail automatically. Before this, you'd manually create LODs for every mesh to keep performance reasonable. Nanite just handles it. It doesn't work on everything though, but it works on most meshes. Next up in S tier we have Lumen. This is Unreal Engine's dynamic global illumination system. Global illumination is how light bounces through a scene. It's what separates lighting that looks real from lighting that looks flat. The old approach was baking, which worked but was a whole process. Lumen handles it in real time and it looks genuinely good. Scenes that used to require significant lighting work now look solid, almost out of the box without you having to even do much. So that's the full list. Do you agree with me? Or do you think I got some things wrong? And do you think I missed any major features? Don't forget, if you're just getting started with Unreal Engine, make sure to check out my free Unreal Engine beginner course that will teach you the fundamentals of the engine. And if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!